congratulations on the film. It is... I don't think I was walking in expecting fun to be the first word that came out of my mouth leaving it, but it's so fun.
That's the best way I can describe it. It is a really fun movie. It's funny, it's scary and suspenseful, and ultimately it's just fun, and that was really the goal.
James and his company, Atomic Monster, really, like, even starting with Insidious, and actually before that, I don't think anyone's as good as really understanding that horror movies have to be scary and funny, scary and fun. If they're fun, they're scarier because you get relaxed and you forget you're in a horror movie for a second. And as soon as you forget you're in a horror movie and then you get scared, it's way worse. And I think it's really one of many of James's signatures. I think it's terrific, and I think M3GAN is exactly what you just described.
Like, when you're really trying to kind of find that balance, because I completely agree, the best horror films are the ones that also kind of get you giggling. Shaun of the Dead is my absolute favorite film. Like,
Paranormal Activity 3, 50% comedy, 50% scary.
And then, getting that divide. But kind of speaking of that, like, what is it for both of you? Like, how do you find that balance? Is there kind of a secret ingredient to it of knowing when to pull back, when to push forward?
I think it really depends on the project. You know, it's obviously that there's certain horror movies that you can't go, we can't push too far that direction because that's not what it is, and that's not what it's trying to say. I think certain ones you can obviously lean more into the fun. But what's great about horror, the horror genre in general, and that's what Jason and I love about it, is, you know, it's not just what's on the surface. Most of the films that we make, we say something. We have something to say, right? And M3GAN definitely has something else to say other than, hey, look at us. We're a funny, fun, you know, scary killer doll. The movie deals with, like, you know, losses, deals with, like, the rise of technology in our world in a very real way. And I think, you know, that's what makes the genre so I think so fascinating for us and so interesting as a filmmaker, is it really lets you lets you sort of comment on society, on the real world, but you get to house it in a genre that lets you have fun.
Fantastic. That is so fascinating. I love getting to hear that kind of breakdown of it. Now, on a slightly different page, let's say we threw M3GAN into a cage match with Annabelle. Like, what is it like kind of creating the...
Well, like, this is what I'll make the distinguishing difference is... M3GAN is a physical doll that gets up and walks around, right? She's an AI machine, right? She can do that. Annabelle is just a doll. She's a possessed doll. She doesn't actually hurt anyone. It's the demon that is latched to her.
We're all putting the blame on the wrong part of that equation.
Well, that's exactly it. Yes, yeah.
No contest, no contest.
I'm kind of speaking a little bit to that, like the things you can draw from this film, the surprises you can pull from this film. Because I do love that this is toys. We always personified toys as kids, but now the toys are literally becoming personified. Like, they can learn, they can adapt, they can change and learn how to manipulate us as they kind of do in this film. Right. Like, what was it about that element that kind of really drew you both to this kind of story?
I think the idea of AI can come in all different forms. You do your homework, all different things, and I think there's nothing there's nothing that could be better or worse than AI in a toy. I think that's what's one of the things that's so great about that, the idea of an AI doll, is that it could really be, and at the beginning of the movie, it seems like it is like the greatest thing ever for a kid. It could also clearly be the worst thing ever, and so that's what that's what I think is so interesting about the movie, actually.
Yeah, I mean, AI is becoming more and more prevalent in the world that we live in, right? Like, whether or not it's on social media, it's in our home via the Alexa, right? Talking to Siri. I mean, all this stuff that we're doing, it's slowly becoming more and more prevalent in our everyday life. And so it's only a matter of time before we take AI programming and put it into an object that is a walking, talking thing, right? And it's also human nature as well to want to create a robot, but a robot that looks like us, so that way, from a psychological standpoint, we can actually relate to it, right? You know, I mean, you see Boston Dynamics are doing all these amazing sort of like robotics things, but at the end of the day, you know, they want to put it into things that we can kind of relate to. And I think that is important from a psychological standpoint, because if you were to put it straight into something that scary. It may be too too terrifying from the get-go. So you kind of need to slowly ingratiate that idea into society. And but obviously, you know, like if movies and literature have taught us any better, you know, it is like eventually machines will run the world, and not in a good way, I think.
It's not necessarily in a happy way.
Yeah.
That is, I think, all the time I've got. Thank you both so much.
Thank
My
you.
editors are going to kill me because I didn't bring up Aquaman, but which I'm excited about.
Yeah, it's coming along. I'm still a year off.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.